Undeniably, the PC has no problems turning out great games year after year, and now that we're midway through the year, we've sifted through the over 100 releases this year to bring you the top 10 PC games of 2020 so far, arranged by PlayScore. You can find the complete list on our website, whattoplay.com, link in the description box below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Number 10, Streets of Rage 4. It took 3 decades of waiting, but the classic beat-em-up finally makes a return. Led by the folks at Lizard Cube, Streets of Rage 4 aimed to bring the arcade experience to modern consoles with a fresh coat of paint. And that's exactly what they achieved, moving away from the pixels into smooth cartoon visuals and expanding combat with a few new skills. Content-wise, this may have been a little too thin a modern sequel for some reviewers. As IGN puts it, Streets of Rage 4 definitely prioritizes nostalgia over any kind of big modern reinvention. However, by bringing back a brand of action that's been badly missed for years, Lizard Cube has definitely achieved its goals. The difficulty continues to rage on, and with the new multiplayer modes, you can even do it with friends.
Oh,
Whoa!
I was part of that.
Bloody hell! Who the heck was driving there?
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. I'm gonna have a word with him. You, in there. Come on out.
Why are you bashing up the car while I'm dealing with the scum on the streets?
Because they hit me.
It has a play score of 8.68. Number 9, The Pedestrian. This next game requires a different kind of street smarts. A puzzle platformer from Skocum Arts, it definitely makes an impression right from the first look. With the game world taking place in and out of city signs, it's both familiar and fascinating. And aside from the distinct charm of its presentation, which show the rich environment around the signs, the gameplay is also really solid, allowing for a variety of amusing interactions. Rearrange the boards, connect the dots, pull down levers, and everything else in order to get to that final exit. While it was just neat and tidy enough to get a critic score of 7.82, its gamer scores show that they were more than impressed, giving it a total play score of 8.71. 8. Black Mesa. This FPS from Crowbar Collective demonstrates that Valve's iconic series has one hell of a half-life itself. Decades after the game's first release, Gordon Freeman's sci-fi shooting escapades get an unofficial re-envisioning. As a fan-made game, the fact alone that Valve allowed it to be released is a testament to its quality. And while it doesn't offer a full-blown new-gen remake, critics cite that it is one of the best ways to experience the classic game in the modern age. Not only is it faithful, giving justice to the combat and the atmosphere of the series, it also makes changes on the Zen part, which remains a heavily criticized part of the 1998 original. Technical flaws notwithstanding, this 8-year labor of love is worth a look.
I've had enough! Die! Die! Yes! Yes!
Dude, that was great. Average Windows experience.
Whether for fans wishing to relive a classic or for newcomers who want a less dated experience, it gets a score of 8.84. Number 7, Monster Train. We already had a taste of roguelike deck building with Slay the Spire last year, and this year it looks like developer Shiny Shoe is following its footsteps, this time with a monster train to hell and a harrowing climb to boot. There is a remarkable simplicity in the game's mechanics, but with it comes the undeniable thrill of its matches, like finding awesome new synergies between cards and witnessing the fireworks of a good combo. Monster Train has its own complexities hidden beneath its playful style, and bravely taking inspiration from such a strong strategic contender like Slay the Spire, the comparisons are inevitable. And while it falls short of reaching that level, it remains a welcome new diversion for fans of the growing genre. It has a play score of 8.86. Number 6, Lair of the Clockwork God. Another indie game has made it onto our PC halfway list. Proud to say it's a fast-paced point-and-click puzzle adventure and an indie platformer in one. So sure enough, Lair of the Clockwork God gives you your money's worth with two varieties of fun. It tickles two different genres alternately throughout dual protagonists, Ben and Dan's adventures, creating a decent balance that will impress fans of either kind. The game has been praised for the sum of all its cleverness, and not just in the very British banter it presents between the two characters, but also in the push and pull between the contemplative puzzle stages, and the pixel perfection of their platforming. With the success of this bold project, this hopefully won't be the last we see of Ben and Dan. It has a play score of 8.89. Did you know? Your reviews can influence the play score. So register now at whattoplay.com and start reviewing some games. Link on the description box below. Entering our top 5, Deep Rock Galactic. This here is a dwarf's wet dream, combining the mythical race's love for working side by side in mining and in fighting. It might have a more science fiction feel to its environment though, but it does stay true to fantasy dwarf lore with its co-op multiplayer gameplay, letting you hang around with up to 3 of your friends. You dig, explore, and fight your way through their satisfyingly destructible and procedurally generated cave system. It seems as though Ghost Ship Games went tunnel vision on providing an excellent haven for co-op action, and that's exactly what they delivered here. Learn to synergize with teammates using their 4 different classes, and immerse yourself in the role of a space dwarf in a game teeming with content and fun. It has a score of 8.91. Number 4, Persona 4 Golden. This may not be a totally brand new game from Atlus, but it is the first time that this groundbreaking Persona entry made it to the PC. This edition, which includes new features, characters, and story elements, was first released on the PS Vita in 2012. With this move to a new platform 8 years later, it received a few more enhancements to the experience, such as additional Japanese voiceovers and a much-needed high-definition makeover. And while it's not the recent phenomenal PlayStation exclusive Persona 5, this game provides a perfect opportunity to get into a series known for its fantastic storytelling, colorful characters and interactions, as well as its combat and mystery.
I smell 3 enemies! Don't get careless! Persona! Go, Sensei! That's how it's done! You knocked it down!
Getting more than 500,000 sales in the first half, this is definitely a time-tested title, and it gets a play score of 9.01.
Oh, I'm ready.
Banking that 3rd spot on our list, Desperados 3. Following the release of the latest Red Dead Redemption entry, we get another look at life in the Wild Wild West, and this time from the folks at THQ Nordic. But while Red Dead deals in thrills of shooting and exploration, Desperados challenges your strategic skills while playing the role of John Cooper and his gang in his quest for redemption.
I got this. One less to worry about. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean that.
Roam around their beautiful, perpetually sundown environments and figure out how to get through each daunting stage. There's a lot to tinker with thanks to its various level design, and though it may have its frustrating moments, according to PC Invasion, for those craving a certain test of your tactical acumen, Desperados 3 is a perfectly rewarding experience from start to finish. It receives a play score of 9.04. Number 2, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. After the stir it caused with its first entry, we expected the sequel to the beloved Microsoft exclusive to bring more of the same magic that the first one brought. However, it seems that it brought a different kind of flavor to its familiar charms. It builds up on the world that they created, expanding it further with new platforming mechanics and improved combat. But some reviewers didn't quite like their move away from the simplicity of Blind Forest, but together with its beauty and Metroidvania precision, it's still a worthy sequel. According to Destructoid, Ori and the Will of the Wisps loses some of the simplicity and innocence, but it steps up in turn with bite and refinement. Still as beautiful as we remembered it, it has a play score of 9.1. Here are the runners-up before we reveal the number 1. 11. World of Horror. Thanks to Junji Ito, we all know how creepy black and white anime images can be. This love letter to the iconic mangaka pays tribute to that art, injecting the formula into a turn-based roguelite RPG. 12. The Procession to Calvary. For anyone that's a fan of Python-esque silliness in medieval settings, this point-and-click adventure is worth checking out. Live out the life of a Terry Gilliam cutout in this laugh-out-loud journey of corruption, conspiracy, and miracles. 13. Command & Conquer Remastered. The time to relive the strategy classic has come. After shaping many of our childhoods, the series makes a return with eye-popping visuals, enhanced UI, and a revamped soundtrack. 14. The Room VR: A Dark Matter. After being one of the most awesome puzzle games on the mobile, Fireproof Games took their tried and tested formula to the VR. Walk around the renowned environments, gather clues, and leave no virtual stone unturned. 15. Doom Eternal. Tripping on its own ambitiousness in some, this latest Doom title is still a phenomenal experience that raises the stakes that the reboot series began. Take down the legions of Hell and Heaven in their expansive campaign and expanded multiplayer. Finally, number 1 and the best PC game for the first half of 2020 is Half-Life Alyx. It seems Valve has taken in all of everyone's Half-Life 3 expectations and used all our energies to create something entirely different. Alyx is not the sequel we were all expecting, but within this virtual reality world, they recreated the same atmosphere, action, and intrigue that we love from the Half-Life series, and of course added a fresh layer of technical genius.
This next piece comes from my heart and soul.
A prequel set between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2 take on the shoes of Alyx Vance as she roams around City 17 and meets some familiar faces. We might have expected Valve to deliver a quality experience, but they definitely broke new grounds in the VR world, creating a full-fledged single-player experience packed with unprecedented graphical quality, believable physics, and a captivating storyline. It's the first half of 2020's runaway winner with a play score of 9.49.